welcome back everybody. We've done the preliminary work as I did in my last video, so let's do some more preliminary work, which is steps 1, 2 and 3. So paint the lenses partly as shown in the manual. We went through that, we've done that. For mounting each of the side indicators, drill a hole in the bumper bar on each side. These holes with a diameter of 1.8 millimeters, which is what I have here, are drilled in the area of the side indicator at the rear where the little pike ends. See picture 1 now. I'll show picture 1 is not very clear. Here's picture 1. So picture 1 is saying you drill the little hole just here where the pike ends, where that ends, and that will then put, we were actually doing the right side, but their picture shows the left. That will then put that hole underneath. Let's go and get this to focus. It was focusing well a minute ago. This sits about there, so hopefully it will sit about there. The little LED will come up from underneath there and out there, so that is where we need to drill our little hole. Now, as I said, they show in the instructions a drill. That will be a bit overkill, and because we're doing the right hand side, we're going to do it. So where the little pike ends is there, so keeping that in line with the little line that's there at the end of the pike. Now, just before we go too far, I'll show you don't want to go too far back because this little part sits here. So you can see that we're drilling a hole just here, right at the back of this clear lens. If you went any further back, you'd actually be in the area where this part glues down, because this goes on here all the way back to here and glues on there. So we will end up with a hole just here. Now, if you've got other drill bits like I have in my kit, you could start with a smaller one and work your way up, but literally once you've got this started, you can see it cuts through quite quickly and easily. You want to keep your drill sort of parallel to this edge. You don't want to be drilling like this or like that. 1, you might slip, and 2, I think they want you the hole to be nice and clear. Now we need 1.8 because that is the size of the little LED that ends up going through here. Now I'll just move my fingers in the back before we end up punching a hole in my finger, which I have done in the past. So we will just keep going, so like Dory, keep on swimming. So there we go. So you can see when it comes through, the hole comes through, it will actually collide with that little post there. So you don't want to keep going because you're going to end up drilling this post and then weaken it. So hopefully once we've done that, as you can see they did it from this angle, so they were actually holding it as they are here. Try to get this all into shot. They were drilling like this. That's how they are, so that's what we've done, but because we're doing the right hand side, because that's the side of the lens I painted. And that is that when you get to this final step around here, you can see that's the hole there. So it is in line with that little post. Their hole looks a lot bigger in this picture than theirs, and that hole is for this little tiny LED to go through. And I've measured this LED and it is actually 1.7, so you can see that just fits through there. And you can see that just fits. And you don't want to be sticking this thing in and out of here too often, because you can do like I did and catch the edge and actually pull this off. It is quite delicate. The wire is fairly robust, but yeah, let's put that out of the way so we don't do that. So we've got that hole there as they want it nice and clean. If you want to clean that up in the rear, by all means just get your little knife and get that a bit of a tidy up, so you have a nice clean hole. So we won't need that for the moment. Step 2, Also, from the mounting of the side indicators, the K parts 5 and 6 from the assembly kit have to be drilled through. Now the K parts is this part here. First drill from the inside with a 1mm drill bit. Drill at an angle, see picture 2. So we're drilling sort of through that way. So we end up drilling through from the back out through this face. So the little hole ends at the center of the little plane. Now what they're saying is you drill from here, let me just get this so it's in shot, from here through, so you end up in the center of this plane here. This we're going to ream out with a 1.8 drill bit, so your little LED will go just through here, come through and poke out through here. So, as it says, little plane. After, drill the hole with a 1.8mm drill bit from the outside, so from this side, as it shows here, to widen the hole. See picture 3. Now, picture 3 shows him doing it, doesn't show you what it should look like when it's finished. So, this is hopefully why this video will help. If I make a mistake, hopefully you won't. If we do make a mistake, I shall be buying more K parts and fixing it, or getting some glue out. So let's change our drill from a 1.8 to a 1mm. So this little drill thing here, the reason you need it is most big drills like they show won't actually hold a 1mm drill. The chuck physically doesn't close tight enough to hold it. So we shall pop that in here. Give that a little tweak. Now you want it with, this will go all the way in here, but that's going to be too close for us to push through the part, so we need to have some length on the drill part. It's a bit tricky to do when you're trying to look on camera and do that. So give it a nice squeeze, just give it a quick spin, make sure it's in the middle, because you can actually just get it caught into one of the jaws and then it will just be offset and it will just be quite difficult to drill. So we need to drill through here, ending in the center of there. So looking at it from the top, we need to drill at that angle here. I don't know if you can see my drill bit on top of my fingers. Hopefully I can get the light to catch it. There you go. So we need to drill through, so we end up right in the middle of there. So if you look at that angle you are now here, and then transfer that angle into here, that's what we want to end up with. So hopefully we just keep this down. Now mine's, it's sort of fairly close almost to there. If I give this a little spin. Now the problem we're having is this surface here is at this angle, and we're trying to drill through it at this angle. So you will hear the drill bit making some weird clicking noises until we get enough bite to go through. Now you could maybe drill from here first, but it's not going to help you because you're still going to come through. You can't come from here back because we want it to come out, so it pokes and then drill this surface flat bigger. So let's see what we can do with this. Let's give this a bit more pressure. It's starting to cut. I can see plastic starting to come out on the drill bit. With a drill bit this small, you have got the danger of going through your fingers. But it's only 1mm. Only leave a small hole. Don't do it, but so we'll just see how we're getting on here. I'm just going to change hands because I am actually left-handed normally. I'm fairly ambidextrous, so we're just trying to do it that way so you can see, but actually I think this camera angle with me using my left hand might work out better. I thought it was through, then it's not, it just slipped in my fingers. No, it's quite thick, this plastic. why ServoNaut couldn't supply you these parts with a little nice drilled hole in it, because personally I think it would have been better with the indicator here so this whole strip lights up, but hey ho, I didn't design them. So you can see I've got the palm pushing the pressure and my fingers twiddling the chuck. You can twiddle back here, but it's sometimes easier here because you get a bit more twisting motion. Come on, getting into 10 minutes of video. I wanted to get through these steps within the 20-minute limit so I can do some 20-minute breakdowns and get the steps done. I may pause in my video and come back to this once I've drilled the hole, rather than you watching me drill. So let's just do that. I'll pause this, drill the hole, and I'll show you what it's like in a second. Okay, I'm back. Now, I drilled my little hole. It did take a bit more pressure. Now mine, actually when it came through, as you can see, didn't quite come through on the centre. I'm slightly off, but when it says here on this one, after that, drill from the outside to widen the hole. Now, presumably I need to drill this all the way to this size, because measuring the LED, it is 1.8 mil, which is what this size drill is. So this needs to be drilled all the way so that it comes through here. And I'm guessing the reason they did it to go this through here is because it would chew up all of this plastic and make a mess. So what we can do to rescue this, to make sure we get it in the centre, just trying to get up higher, is start the drill at a slight angle here. So what it will do is it will cut the back edge out first where the hole should be, and then that will give us a straight line which we can then go through. So what I mean is, if I go here and go this way and then stone it, you can see I've now managed to get that to move closer to the centre. So let's just do a bit more here. And just I'm resting it against the edge, this edge here, that I want to take the extra out. I don't want to go through yet. I want to try and cut some of the edge off so I can get it to go. Just tighten my drill. It's now slipping, so you must be on the final cutting edge. If you ever get your drill stuck and it doesn't want to turn, don't force it, because it will then rip through, and that's where it's going to rip through when you don't know what it's doing. That's actually just swarf there, it's not actually the hole. So what you do is, instead of ripping it through, spin it backwards and put the pressure on, and that will just take off that nice little bit that it needs. So there you go, we need to widen this hole. Spin it backwards just to clean the hole and give it the turn forward. It's now cutting and cutting, so we end up with that there. Now we just get my knife and clean this out. So I believe we need to keep going. There we go. So, because you remember the hole we drilled first, the back of the pike? The back of the pike probably ends just where this hole is going to start. Yeah, it's not perfect by any means, but it is in the middle as best I can get it. We have some material left around here. I'm just going to give this a blow off camera, excuse me. So, the idea of this is this will end up here, and you can see that hole pretty much goes straight through. If I remove this, because that's the back of the pike, so there's our hole there. So the idea is when the LED comes through, you poke it out and it just sits inside this, so it doesn't actually light up through here. So what this will do is when this is on, like that, as I say, this sits with that back edge there. It doesn't actually stick out, the LED, it just lights up through that hole. So what it should do is hit this diffuser, make this whole diffuser illuminate a little bit. I don't know how much light you're going to get travelling forward, but that's it. So yeah, so as I say, you can see if I lift my clear part off, hopefully the silver part stays where it needs to be, and then I get my tweezers, you can see we drilled the hole just here. So if I lift this off, there should be a hole directly behind it. So I think we're good until we get to the point where we actually need to fit that, and then we can find out if it's going to fit or not. So we need that and that, keep that together, put that to a side, go to here, put the tweezers down, get rid of a little bit of swarf. So that should be those steps. So let me end that there, and the next thing we will be doing is I'm not going to cut the metal plate because I will probably do that in a separate video, but I'm sure you can all figure out how to trim and cut a bit of edge of metal plate off. Excuse me, sorry. So the next thing we will be doing is going through and actually putting the diffusers in the lenses, because once we've done that, because I have already done the pre-painting, so once we've done that, we can then fit the clear parts, fit the lenses into the actual cluster, see how they look, and then if there's time in the last video, I'll show you how they look like lit up, or I should do a separate lighting video so anybody who wants to see what they look like lit up, lots of words to line up there, I should do it in a separate video. So see you in the next one.